जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदा नन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारि जयो राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदा नंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदा नंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा रासबिहारी राधा रासबिहारी राधे जय गौरांगी बैंगलोरीश्वर गौरांगी जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। बहुत प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत। इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन संस्थापकाचार्य बीबीडी संस्थापकाचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल यूनिवर्स जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत। इस डिवाइन ग्रेस श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ छठ गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। कावेरी माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। दामोदर कार्तिक मास की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories and glories and glories and glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. So we will continue our conversation today from the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's text number is from the eighth chapter. The first, we're starting the eighth chapter today. So it's a very interesting chapter. Let's see, how it unfolds as we move forward from here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्गायतें गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Okay. Canto 4. Canto 4 is titled The Creation of the Fourth Order. Chapter 8 is prayers by Dhruva Maharaj. And just give me 1 minute, and there we are. Sorry, Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. That's the title of this chapter. And the shloka number is 1. Maitreya Uvacha Sankadha Naradascha Rugurhamsa Runiryatin Naite Graham Brahma Suta Hai 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 Vavasan Urdhvaratesha Maitreya Uvacha Sankadha Naradacha Rugurhamso Runiryatin Naite Graham Daite Graham Brahma Suta Hai Avasan Urdhva Ritsaha Maitreya Uvacha Sankadya Naradascha Rubirhamso Runiryatin Naite Grahan Brahma Suta Hai Avasan Urdhva Ritsa. Word to word translation. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Sanakadya, those headed by Sanaka, Narada, Cha, and Rubhu, Hamsa, Aruni, Yati, not, Ete, all this, Grahan, at home, Brahma Suta, sons of Brahma, hey, certainly, Avasan did leave, Urdhvaretasa, unadulterated celibates. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the great sages Maitreya said, the four great Kumaras, the four great Kumara sages headed by Sanaka, as well as Narada, Prabhu, Hamsa, Aruni, Yati, all the sons of Brahma, did not leave at home, but became Urdhvareta, or Naistika Brahmacharis, unadulterated celibates. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The system of brahmacharya has been current since the birth of Brahma. A section of the population, especially male, did not marry at all. Instead of allowing the semen to be driven downwards, they used to lift the semen up to the brain. They are called Urdhva Retasha. Those who lift up. Semen is so important that if by the yogic process one can lift the semen up to the brain, he can perform wonderful work. One's memory is enabled to act very swiftly, and the duration of the life is increased. Yogis can thus perform all kinds of austerity with steadiness and be elevated to the highest perfectional stage, even to the spiritual world. Vivid example of brahmacharis who accepted these principles of life are the four sages, Sanaka, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, as well as Narada and others. Another significant phrase here is the Naiti Graha Hai Avasan. They do not live at home. Griha means home, as well as wife. In fact, home means wife. Home does not mean a room or a house. One who lives with wife at home. Otherwise, a sannyasi or a brahmachari, even though he may not live in a room or in a house, does not live at home. That they do not live at home means that they do not accept a wife. And so the others were no questions of so there was no question of their discharging semen. Semen is meant to be discharged when one has a home, a wife, and the intention to beget children. Otherwise, there is no injunction for discharging semen. These principles were followed from the beginning of the creation, and such brahmacharis never created progeny. This narration has dealt with the descendants of Lord Brahma from Manu's daughter Parsuti. Prasuti's daughter was Dakshayani or Sati, in relation to whom the story of Daksha Yagna was narrated. Maitreya is now explaining about the progeny of the sons of Brahma. Out of many sons of Brahma, brahmachari sons headed by Sanaka and Narada did not marry at all, and therefore there is no question of narrating the history of their descendants. Om Tat Sat. That's in the Bhaktivedanta purport to Canto 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto titled The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 8, Dhruv Maharaj leaves home for the forest, and the text number is 1. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Samja Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। So interesting topic about Dhruv Maharaj leaving the home for the forest. And in the right at the starting of this chapter, Maitreya is giving the description of who is a brahmachari and what is a brahmachari. Yeah, and very nicely explained in the purport. And in the translation, it says Maitreya said the four great Kumaras, the four great Kumara sages headed by Sanaka, as well as Narada, Rubu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati, all the sons of Brahma did not leave at home. So all these children of Brahma did not, when it means leave at home, is they did not stay at home. So they didn't continue their married life, or I wouldn't call it as they've never entered into married life. So they did not continue at home. So they did not have a wife, which is what very clearly Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. It's not that they didn't have a room, they didn't have a house, and they did not stay at home, means that they did not get married at all. So they continued their brahmachari ashram and moved ahead and became a Urdhva Reta. Urdhva Reta means somebody who's a Nestika brahmachari who has never ever married. And he's an unadulterated celibate. Now, in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada is driving a point where he says, in our Shastras, as per the Shastras, very clearly said that there are four Varnas and four Ashramas. Yeah. Four Ashramas are Brahmachari Ashram, Grahastha Ashram, Vanapastha Ashram, and then finally Sannyas Ashram. And when we take the description, the current lifestyle or the current lifespan is generally considered to be about 100 years. And in 100 years, it has been divided into four parts. And that is where it is anticipated that a young boy or a young child will grow up to about the age of 25 years and then get married. Till such time, he will stay. This is as per our system, the Vedic parampara, that the boy will go to the Guru's house and serve Guru as well as Guru Mata and learn the art, learn the science, and learn the Vedas. So they would spend all their time, the parents at a very young age would send them to the Guru's house and they would go there, do everything in the house, right from cleaning to mopping to cooking to reading to studying to helping Guru Mata and Guru for their yagas, and reading the Shastras. So that's till the age of 25. They are supposed. Now this, Gurukul system is slowly vanished. Though it is not completely vanished, there are still some more Gurukuls which are available, but slowly it is getting vanished. And up to the age of 25, they continue to stay there. And if they decide to enter into Grahastha Ashram, depending on their mental condition, they can come home and enter into Grahastha Ashram. And again, this Grahastha Ashram continues for till the age of another 25 years, that is up to the age of 50. And at the age of 50, it is advisable that the person retires from active worldly life. Yeah? Active worldly life where he is involved in day-to-day activities of the house, family affairs, earning and all of that. And from 51st year onwards, he starts practicing Vanaprastha Ashram. Well, Vanaprastha Ashram, in the previous yugas used to be saying that the husband would actually take the wife along and go for yatras, dham yatras. They to go to holy places, have a, uh, have spent time there and meet all the Vaishnavas, meet all the sages, the saintly persons, and continue their life. And at the age of 75, that this person is expected to leave the family life uh, and give the wife under the care of the son and go into the forest and take sannyas ashram. So that's the four stages of our ashramas that are decided. And the other ashramas, varnas, which are described are Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, and you have the royal princely class. So Varna and ashrama are very nicely defined. So people who are from the princely qualities or who are from the kingly rulers quality don't become workers, and those who are workers do not try to become the politicians or this one. But in the current situation, we see it is all reversed. You will see we are all actually ruled by Shudras on top. Why is it said that Shudras? We are not talking about their birth. We are talking about the qualities of a person. When a person is not practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, he has no right to become princely class and rule the world. A person who can rule the world is only one who can actually give Krishna consciousness to the public at large. So if we see our previous rulers, they were all Raja Rishis. They were not only Rajas, they were also Rishis. Like Bharat Maharaj, if you see, Amrish Maharaj, if you see. They were great devotees of the Lord. At the same time, they ruled the kingdom so nicely that nobody could make out that there's any difference being created between two citizens of the country. Everybody would get their desires fulfilled, requirements fulfilled. I would not say desire, it is more to do with requirement. Whatever is the basic requirement that the kingdom or the Raja is supposed to fulfill would get fulfilled. And they would also be guided by the religious principles as per our Shastras. So in today's verse that we are discussing, it is more to do with the Brahmachari. And here, the sons of Brahma, that is, the four sons headed by Sanaka. Then you have Narada Muni, then you have Rugu, then you have Hamsa, you have Aruni, and then you have Yati. They all were brahmacharis. They did not want to take the burden of becoming grahasthas. They knew it is not easy to be becoming grahastha and then, managing the families. So they decided that they are going to continue as Naishtika brahmacharis all their life, and they would continue to rule they would continue to preach. And they were allowed to do so. And Maitreya is actually talking about this four children. The different children of Brahma. And what is the advantage of being a brahmachari? The advantage of being a brahmachari is that one can control his mind, and he does not discharge the semen unnecessarily, and he plows it back or he takes it to his mind. And Srila Prabhupada also makes the statement saying that in India, when the Britishers came, they were very astonished to see the Indian young people and Indian young, qualities or the qualities of the young brahmacharis that were there. They were actually amazed that the Indian accountant could do, 4 times faster math calculation than anybody else or any of their British counterpart. And they were astonished to see this, and they were thinking, how is it possible? But this was basically possible because they were celibate, they were brahmacharis. They did not honestly waste their semen. And in the current society, not many people are respected as brahmacharis. And if we disregard them, it is the disgrading or, the whole situation. And people follow as and when they can, and people leave it as and when they can not. So it is very important to discriminate devotees and those who don't follow. I wouldn't say non-devotees. We'll say we'll have to discriminate between devotees and those who do not follow. So people don't follow any restrictions. They don't follow any prohibitions. And on the contrary, our parampara is based on Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Like, like there has to be certain restrictions, like a child is not allowed, or he has the prohibitions that he cannot throw things around. So there is restriction on the living entities in the society also, saying that till the age of 25, you are not supposed to, have illicit sex. Only after the age of 25, you formally get into Grahastha ashram and you can have sex life only for procreation. What do you mean by procreation? To give birth to a new child so that the child becomes Krishna conscious. And that's how it is given. And it is actually coming in from our Shastras. Padma Puran talks about the regulations and principles. And this is for everybody. It is not only for Brahmanas. Brahmanas have certain restrictions. Vaishyas have certain restrictions. Then you have the aristocratic class, which has certain restrictions. Then you also have the Shudras who have certain restrictions. If they cannot follow, in the line, they cannot become proper Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras. And we are actually practicing Daivi Varnashrama. Or there are two types of Varnashrama. One is the normal Varnashrama, and the other one is Daivi Varnashrama. And according to the natural occurring order on the society, in the calculation that we really have, there's only about 3% of the whole society is Brahmanas. 7% of them are Vaishyas. 7% of them are Kshatriyas. 10% of them are Vaishyas. And majority of them, which is 80%, are all Shudras. And our object is not to make everybody a Brahmana, because the society also has to run. That's how our Shastras have planned, that there has to be Brahmanas, there has to be Kshatriyas, there has to be Vaishyas, there has to be Shudras also. So, but those who lead the society should be at the highest level. So we're talking about the Brahmanas or the Kshatriyas. Well, Brahmanas are on top class and they are at the highest level. So Brahmanas have to follow this very particularly. Otherwise, there will be chaos. And in the current situation, as I mentioned, even the people who are ruling us are from the people who are ruling us are also from the Shudra classes. And the Shudra class, it's somebody that we notice that they make money out of everything. They look at, whatever comes in is good. Government makes, in the current situation, government makes a huge money out of taxes in getting the alcohol, etc. But then that's not the society which should be really encouraged. Government makes, in certain countries, prostitution is legalized and it is taxed. So the government makes a lot of money out of alcoholism and prostitution and all that, which is not a correct sign. This is the sign of a Shudra mentality. It is not a Brahmana. A Brahmana will never think that, the society, there should be people who should be drinking Madira and who should be going for prostitution. So the mindset of people who are ruling us is basically of the Shudra. And this will lead to chaos. Sense gratification has actually crept into the society. So at least the Brahmanas have to follow the basic rules and regulations, because they are the persons who are going to guide the society. We should guard our society at all the levels. Otherwise, we will lose compassion. And here in the shloka today that we see, the kids or the sons of Brahma are also following this. This is a very straightforward example. Many times we think why Brahma's children should become brahmacharis. Why they could have become good rulers? Because Brahma is the creator of the whole world. And when the creator himself is not able to ensure that his children are going to be ruling the world, what is the point? But then that's the way the society has to set up. Yeah. Society will have to run, and it is required. When you have a car, you need all the four wheels to be properly inflated. You can't have one wheel inflated and the other wheels without air and run the car. It is not possible. It is not practical. You may not be able to run it. So the society has to run, and everybody in the society has to be equally qualified in their own ways of qualification. So Brahmanas have to be well read. The Vaishyas have to really do Vanijya and Goraksha very well. So they should be educated in economics. Then the Kshatriyas have to be educated in the warfare. They should be educated in politics. They should be educated in training and physical exercise, which is very important. And if we look at the Shudras have to be very well trained in doing the work that is required, the manual labor that is required to be done in the society. We can't be leaving the society without manual work. Manual work is very, very important. You please see today in most of the houses, if you don't have maid, there's a problem. If you don't have a maid, you will go mad. That's the condition that is happening with all our, Matajis at home. So it is very important that the society has all kinds of people and they are well balanced. But the numbers have been now decreasing. It's not like 25% has to be Brahmana, 25% Kshatriya, 25% Vaishya, and 25% Shudras. No. The current statistics, this is quoted in one of the shlokas. I don't have the Vedic reference to this, but I've heard this in one of the classes. It was quoted in one of the classes, so I'm able to clarify this. This is by one of our Srila Prabhupada disciples. And he says there's only 3% of the total population, which is the Brahmana class. 7% are Kshatriyas. You have another 10%, which is the mercantile class, which is the Vaishyas. And 80% of the rest of the population is all Shudras. And Shudras are supposed to be doing the manual work. Well, that is as far as the description is concerned of the society. But in this particular verse that we are really looking at is Maitreya Rishi is talking about the great sage. He's also a great sage. And it is being talked about the 4 great Kumara sages headed by Sanaka. So the 4 brothers, Sanaka, Sananda, Sanata, and Sanat Kumara. Sananda and Sanat Kumara. So there's 4 brothers. Then you have Narad Muni, again another great Naishtika Brahmachari. We've heard very little about Rubu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati. But, I'm sure we should read more about this great devotees of the Lord who remained celibate all their life to leave examples for people. Yeah. And in this particular example, it is said that in this particular shloka, it is said that out of many sons of Lord Brahma, the Brahmachari sons headed by Sanaka and Narada did not marry at all. And therefore, there was no question of meriting the history of their descendants. Because when you don't marry, then you will not have descendants. You don't have the parampara to follow. So there will be very little reference which will be given to the 4 sons, Sanaka, Sananda, Sanata, and Sanat Kumara. So these 4 sons, there is really very little that you can hear of their progeny, of their descendants. And so is with Narada. We have heard so many stories about Narada. We've been hearing about Narada Muni, the great sage who goes out and preaches. He's always talking. He's always taking the holy name of the Lord. He's never bereft of the holy name. At the same time, he can travel to any part of the world anytime just by his mental capacity. He can just go to Vaikuntha Loka and sit with Lord Narayana and have conversation. So that's the quality of Narada Muni. Narada Muni is also mentioned here. So there are no descendants that we really talk about for Narada Muni and the Sanat Kumaras. Likewise, the others were also brahmacharis. They did not marry. They were Naishtik brahmacharis. So there is no reference which is made to their descendants as well. So this is what there in the shloka today that we spoke about or that we discussed about. And I also thought that we should, we all know that this is a very auspicious month of Damodar Kartik Mas. And some of us have been practicing, a lot of us would have been practicing on the various activities that have been planned during the month of Damodar Kartik Mas. I would just want to, add to it saying that, if we have to please our gurus, if we have to please our acharyas, it is very important to follow their instructions. And to follow their instructions is basically to execute their orders, to execute their instructions which have been given to us. So if we can take up very actively about this 1 month of Damodar Kartik Mas to go out and have as many Deepdan as possible, or to invite as many people as possible to our temples or to our houses or to our places where we can do Deepdan. It will be very nice. And this can be done at any given point of time. We don't have to really make elaborate prashadam arrangement for this month. We can even give some packaged prashadam, or we can just give them some donna prashadam. Do it. You don't have to, because when it is a large program of 200, 300, 500 people, it may be practically difficult for us to make prashadam, though the temple management is very happy to support and help us in executing all our programs. But at the same time, if we find it a little challenging to make those arrangements, it is actually fine for us to just call people, make them offer the lamb, and give them some dry prashad or give them some dona prashad. That's absolutely good. And likewise, we can have these programs in our offices, in our apartments, in the schools where we can go and do it. In colleges, we can do it. Or if there are any social gatherings, we can request the organizers saying that, this is a very auspicious month of Damodar Kartik Mas and we would like to organize Deepdan. We will just come with the deity of Yashoda Damodar or a photo of Yashoda Damodar. We will come with all the lamps. We will come with all the paraphernalia. We will come with the Kirtan team if required. People will have to just offer the lamb to Lord Damodar and get the Sukruti, get a lot of benefit in this material life. So this is our responsibility as Srila Prabhupada and Ugas. So let's look at executing this in this month and make our life very, very successful. This is what I had today in our discussion. So if there's any question, I'll be happy to answer. I did not want to go further with this on the shloka, because then, I would be overstepping my responsibility. So I thought I'll discuss only what is there in the shloka today regarding the Naistika Brahmacharis, the sons of Lord Brahma, and what are the advantages of being the Naistika Brahmachari. So the advantage that we spoke about of Naistika Brahmachari is that one can have a long life. Apart from a long life, because they plow back or they, reverse the semen into their brains are very, very sharp. And this example is also given by Srila Prabhupada, saying the Britishers were amazed by looking at the calculation speed of our, Indian youth when the, Britishers were in India. So these are the advantages of being a brahmachari. But as we go forward, we will see how Dhruv Maharaj leaves for the forest and then he gets instructions from Narad Muni and what does he do. So we will take that in detail. Thank you very much for your patient hearing, and I'll close the class here in case if there is, we'll wait for a minute in case if there are any question. If there are no questions, then we can close the class here.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much. So we will close the session here. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Damodar Kartik Mas ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.